Hey everybody, welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
And welcome to another week of October, if you're listening to this in a somewhat recent time frame, I guess. It's October. We're early off in So Many Scares month here on the show. We're talking about Friday the 13th movies all month long, so be sure you subscribe over on our YouTube channel or Spotify or wherever you get podcasts. We would love to have you follow along. Let us know in the comments what you think. What's your favorite Friday the 13th? What's your favorite Jason kill? We would love to know all of these things and more. And what else you're watching for Halloween. So go to SoManySequels.com. You can find all the information that I just spewed out before. But let's get into the topic of this episode, which is going to be what we've been watching and talking about this week on the show. We are going to start with David, who's got an update on the Peacemaker finale. It's finished its season. We've talked about it a few times here on the show. I don't want you to spoil the finale because it's still pretty fresh.
Yes.
But how is it? How does the season end? How did it go?
So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the whole season. The finale has been somewhat divisive. There have been people who don't, who aren't as big a fan of it. I really think this season feels to me, and this might tell you one way or the other how you might feel about it just going in, but feels very comparable to me to Guardians Volume 2. It is much more character driven. It is much more, I think it has a lot, it's a little bit more thoughtful at times about who these people are versus just being a big action spectacle all the time. It has plenty of action spectacles. It is still very funny. But yeah, so it ends up being a very interesting. And then the ending does put us in a very like what happens next kind of place. Okay. And James Gunn has alluded to some of the events here definitely are in the mix for future projects, things like this. Like it's all going to be sort of connected, whether it's directly or indirectly, to future projects. So overall, I think a really solid season. I can't get some of the music out of my head. The finale
James Gunn's good at music, man. He's good at it.
And this is totally not my genre. This like alt sleaze rock, hair metal, glam pop stuff. Like it's not my brand at all. But there are probably 4 certified bangers. One of them is so crass, I could not believe the song was actually real. But it's a perfect Peacemaker song because the song on its surface is kind of like crass and aggressive and a little gross. But the more you listen to it, you're like, this is actually kind of catchy. There's actually something kind of sweet about this in like a really like weird way. So yeah, there's a great. This isn't necessarily a spoiler, I don't think, but there's a great cover of it. I say cover. There's an acoustic version of a song I think everybody knows. And you'll listen to it and you'll go, I think I know this song. Yeah, this song sounds familiar. And then the chorus comes in and you go, oh, it's this. It just sounds so different because the normal version is like blah 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 blah. And you're hearing it for a different way. Anyway, all that to say, really good, solid season 2. I'm digging it. It's sad. I don't think we're gonna get a season 3 potentially, so we're just gonna see what happens from here. But John Cena has elevated. Can't wait to see what he does next after this.
Wow, John Cena has elevated the game. All right, perfect. Well, that is a good transition into my first movie of the week, which was The Smashing Machine. Speaking of wrestlers turned actors, this is Dwayne Johnson's foray into serious acting, I guess you would say. This is an A24 movie from Benny Safdie about Mark Kerr, the real-life UFC fighter who... basically, so I don't know jack all about this real man or the story or anything, so I'm kind of coming into that new. But he was big in the sport when the sport wasn't big, I guess.
Yeah,
that's how you'd say it. He wasn't well known, despite being one of the most successful ones of the era. So it's kind of about his life. And my initial reactions were, The Rock he's really good as an actor in this. He is not just playing himself. He's definitely acting with a capital A. Even with, his prosthetics help, but even just in his vocal stylings and all that, I was like, oh, I kind of forgot. I realized I forgot it was The Rock throughout most of the movie until there is a part where he shaves his head for something and then he walks back out with a shaved head and I go, ow, that's The Rock. Now I see it perfectly.
Yeah.
But where it went wrong, and I guess it feels overhyped, I think. The film itself is just kind of mediocre, I would say. The script is fine. It's just fine. It's your typical sports biopic, I think. Rise and fall of a guy, but they don't even. It doesn't go deep enough into a lot of things. For example, this is such a common trope with sports biopics, but because it's, I don't know, this is the kind of stories they're drawn to. He has an addiction to drug. He has a problem with addiction to drugs, painkillers, like most athletes in these stories do. He resolves it relatively easily and quickly. That I was like, oh, okay.
I thought that would be more of a problem.
I thought it would be more of a problem.
I've geared myself up for that, and now it's just
right.
over.
And so it's kind of like, at the end of it, because of how they frame the movie, and I don't want to insult this guy because he's a real life guy out there.
Yeah,
and he would kick your ass.
And he will kick my ass.
What.
But the movie ended, and I thought, I don't know, he didn't seem like he went through that much. He seems like he got through it relatively quickly, and I blame the script for that. But Dwayne is great. Emily Blunt is great, but she's underused. Shame on them for that. And then the rest of the cast is pretty solid too. I didn't recognize a lot of the names, but it's a lot of guys I think with a history of fighting because they have the look. So I'd say stream this one.
I am interested to see how, because there's been a lot of ballyhoo about how much money it made, but I'm interested to see how other directors take it. The benefit here for The Rock in his transition to, because I don't know, I would say with maybe the exception of Southland Tales or maybe Gridiron Gang a long time ago, this is the first time in a long time he's just kind of playing a normal-ish person, not a super person or a super spy or a
superhero of sorts. He's always
a video
a
game character. He's playing a normal-ish guy, and it's Ben Safdie. Ben Safdie, he was already very close with. He already had a bit of a friendship there. Emily Blunt co-starred with him in Jungle Cruise, and they, by all accounts and by all media appearances at least, they appear to be very close friends. So them working together on this, it feels like it was an atmosphere designed to be encouraging of The Rock in this moment. It will be interesting to see if then someone sees this and says, I want to put The Rock in a movie that's dramatic, and he gets out of his comfort zone a little bit and see how he's able to push, if that's even a super desire of his.
He has said that he wants to take acting more seriously. I don't know if you've seen recent pictures of him, David, but he's lost a ton of muscle mass. He is a normal-looking dude, for The Rock's sake. He doesn't look like...
He's still 6'4".
He looks like regular wrestling Rock. He didn't look like super crazy. He's just looking like his old self in WWE. So I do think it's something that he wants to take seriously, and I do think that the project after this will be interesting because I agree this is kind of an off-ramp transition lane, right? You still connect The Rock with punchy, smash, but he's doing something different, right? Yeah. So here's that opportunity for him to get off that lane and show his range and be able to come back to that because I imagine it's not difficult for him to just bulk up again.
Yeah. That is going to be...
back and forth whenever he finds a part that he really connects with, and that would be the next step for him.
That's going to have to be his next challenge is really stepping out of that comfort zone into a role that he's not prepared for, I think, as easily as something like a professional fighter of sorts.
I wonder.
Because he does, he's at least somewhat familiar with the lifestyle. I'd love to see him play I don't know, just a lawyer a lawyer in like some high stakes legal drama, and he's like dropped a bunch of weight, Christian Bale style, and he's just like a lawyer. That's what I want. I don't want to see him play a former fighter. I don't want to see him do any of that. I mean, I do, but
on the other end of that spectrum, I'd like to see him as a well, I guess he was in Pain and Gain. I'd like to see him as like the accused in like a legal drama like that. You know, like he's the guy.
You want to see him be the bad guy. See, even that
is
too, because he looks like a criminal.
Because he could be innocent, and that's just part of the story. You know, that could be part of the story. He's innocent. He's being defended. You know, but like it puts him in. You know, like he's in a place where like he's not on top. He's not he needs some stuff where he's not necessarily the lead. You know, some stuff where he can be a supporting actor, because that's how you get people's attention.
Oh. You tell The Rock that to his face, and he will kill you.
You already lost him.
You want me to not be the lead?
He's not putting $7 on that shit.
What is Dave Bautista's best stuff? He's a supporting character.
You're not wrong about that.
Dave's lead stuff has all been basically rock type movies, like the Super Buddy. I don't know what was that movie called.
The difference is the ego.
True. Dave Bautista's ego is different.
Dave's literally low. John seems to be pretty low at this point.
The Rock is as big as his bicep used to be.
Anyway.
Right, it's part of it. It's part of his thing.
Well, I can't. I do look forward to streaming that at some point.
Yeah, check that out when it comes to you, if you'd like to. Then, getting back into scares mode, I also went to a 30th anniversary screening of Casper, the Friendly Ghost. It was fun. It was cute. It was a cute movie.
Were there a lot of people?
There were a good amount of people. It was a good time.
Families, kids.
There was a good mix. I think. Not all. There was some people. There was some millennials looking for nostalgia like us. There were some parents with kids. There were some just people coming to be scared. I guess, or not scared, but Casper's scared.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. You got Christina Ricci, Bill Pullman, as the father-daughter duo of this movie. You got Devon Sawa for a few minutes as a live-action Casper. Love that early appearance from him. Lots of great cameos in this movie. I don't know. I really liked Casper as a kid. It's a movie I watched on VHS quite a bit, and I realized when I found the movie really quotable, I was like, oh, I'm remembering a lot of these quotes. I haven't watched it recently, and they're stuck in my head. So it's still really funny. I like that. Casper's I highly recommend it, especially if you got kids a little older, just because there is some I don't know, there's quite a bit more language and innuendo than I remembered. But then again, no, I take it back. Let them watch it at whatever age you want, because I did, and I'm fine. So
I was like 8 or 9 when I first saw it. So
I was probably that, if not younger. I mean,
Casper. Look, here's the deal. I'm going to let you in on a tip that I have just discovered recently. I don't know if it's true. I'm not tested, but here's an idea. If something questionable you run across or see or hear on a TV, and you have a child who you might think is a questionable age, and they go, hey, what does this mean? That means they don't know.
True.
And you get to decide whether or not they are old enough to know what the reality of that word means. You can say, oh, it's a spelling error. They meant to say something like this, or this means this. Or you can tell them the truth. Now, that same thing happens, and your kid chuckles, they already know what it means, so it doesn't really matter one way or another.
You've already lost them. Innocence gone.
Kid sees a dirty word out in the public, and they don't laugh, or they don't know what it means. They do laugh, they already know what it means.
It reminds me, I saw this video on TikTok the other night. Great intro to any story. And it was a mom recording, going up the stairs, and it was like, my youngest son is having his first sleepover. And you could hear these two little boys from the other side of the door, and they were both just screaming bitch to each other. Bitch, just being little boys. Anyway,
of course.
So yeah, kids have figured out these words in a lot of ways, and they're already screaming them to each other behind the scenes. So Casper, I don't know how long it's running, but if you ever want to see that back in theaters again, it was out this weekend, at least, but it's probably streaming somewhere too. Garrett, what have you been watching? You've been doing a whole journey.
Yeah.
So let's just hit our scary journey with you.
Yeah, so I'm just going to focus on the two. So last week I said my goal this year is to watch horror movies that I haven't seen before or haven't really paid attention to. Well, I didn't do that totally this week.
I was going to say.
Because I did watch several movies I had never seen before, but you can hear more about that in the next episode where we talk about Friday the 13th. But I revisited Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, two of the So Many Sequels favorites.
Love those
yes.
movies.
Yes, two of the first So Many Scares films. You know, we did the Halloween movies year 1, and then year 2, Happy Death Days.
Happy Death Days combined with Zombieland. Mm-hmm. That was a fun double feature.
That was in the Soundtooth Studio days.
Oh yeah, wow, back in the days.
Back in our studio days, yeah.
Still hold up, a lot of fun. Happy Death Day is so clever. I really enjoy it. It's so much fun. It's just enjoyable. Jessica Roth, I think is her name. I can't remember right off the top.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, good. She's really funny in this part. Like, she just owns this character and really just delivers every aspect of it, from the shallowness of where that character starts to her entire growth that she goes through this Groundhog Day of murder. It is just, she's just really good as that character. It's been a while since I've seen Happy Death Day to You, probably since we reviewed it for the podcast. And that one's a lot of fun. It certainly veers off from horror into science fiction, but it was still a lot of fun. I feel like it didn't have the success as the first one, and so I think there was a planned third one, and I don't think we're going to get it anymore.
This was an intended trilogy, is what I've always heard, and there are still fans out there begging
like us
for the third, and I'll continue.
So I
think
hope that people
it's
find
in
it.
Jason Blum's hands.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, you know, I don't know if reception was as huge, and then the pandemic came right after that, so I think that just kind of really delayed any, because like that was 2019, Happy Death Day to You, so.
But I would say go check them out if you haven't. Go revisit them if you have, especially back to back. You know, that's what I ended up doing. It was a double feature of those two. They're quick-ish, and they're just fun. Especially if you are a big nerd for things like Groundhog Day, for things like Back to the Future, for Happy Death Day to You. If you like those and you can get some of those references, I can't stop hearing the little chime from Back to the Future every time that they talk about going back and forth through timelines in Happy Death Day to You, and it makes me smile every time.
I'm gonna have to send you. There was Blumhouse released a alternate ending to the original Happy Death Day as part of just like a fun, I don't know, I think they were doing like a anniversary of the studio or something.
Yeah.
And so they posted, I saw this post that was talking about when Happy Death Day came out, the original ending tested so bad with test audiences. And then they put in a clip of what they actually, or what it was.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's
I don't wanna
awesome,
spoil
because
it.
this movie is one that tricked me. In the theater, the Happy Death Day, I thought it had come to its end, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta go to the bathroom!"
This
and then it reset that other time, and I went, "Oh no!" So I'm watching the last 5-10 minutes in the aisle, just like dancing, because I'm like, "Oh my god, this is not what I expected," but I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, man, yeah, those are good movies. I don't think I watched them last year, so I'm gonna have to do it this year.
They're good.
Because I do love those movies, and hope that they make that third one someday.
We can.
All right, let's talk about some news of the week. First, this is really fresh, really sad news. Diane Keaton passed away just this past week at the age of 79. Diane Keaton, one of the big mammoth names of Hollywood, in my opinion. Oscar-winning actress. She's known from a ton of movies, but I believe she won her first and only Oscar for Annie Hall. She was in the Godfather series. She did The First Wives Club. She did a ton of movies. Father of the Bride.
Recently, she did the book club movies.
Yes, the book club movies. I think we've joked about those movies on this show.
I think we should do them.
Somehow we haven't done a Diane Keaton film. We tried to look that up real quick before, so a massive blind spot in our filmography that we will address. Maybe with a Diane Keaton month sometime. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no K months.
No.
I don't know. We'll
Keaton.
find a way to make it work. So yeah, you guys have any thoughts on Diane Keaton? Any favorite roles or favorite movies you can think of that you've seen? I always love the Father of the Bride movies, but there's a lot of reasons to love those.
I was telling you guys off mic, I have talk about us as a squad not having any Diane Keaton movies. I also have a huge blind spot. I think going through the filmography, I think I said initially I hadn't seen any, and then I remembered that I had seen The Family Stone. So I think I've only seen that. So I definitely need to up my game.
Yeah, I think I've only seen The First Wives Club and Family Stone, and then I mean, she's in Finding Dory, if that counts. I don't know if I would count that as a Diane Keaton film.
Sure.
It's the film she's in, though. A wonderful actress. I'd seen lots of interviews and stuff with her over time. My wife pulled up a video of Meryl Streep talking about her at some kind of event, and it was very funny. She kind of they seem to be very good friends.
All right. Yes, it's sad. We'll work some Diane Keaton into our schedule coming up soon. Next on our list here is this is just a weird thing that I've seen talked about in film circles on the internet this past week or so. So Amazon is the owner of all things James Bond now with their purchase of MGM Studios and all that stuff. I know it's very scary. And this past week on James Bond Day, which is 10/7, 007, you get the joke there. Nice. They revealed a new set of posters for all of the archive films, and fans very quickly noticed that these were all like iconic poses that the gun that Bond is holding has been removed, like artificially removed, photoshopped out of the posters, and people are like, what is this about? And Amazon has not said. There's been news stories. They're reaching out asking, hey, why did you take the guns out of the James Bond posters? That's weird. Yeah. No answers yet. Very strange.
Did they replace it with like a banana or something?
They replaced it with nothing. Like you can literally tell.
He's literally just like, hey.
You can tell that like maybe he's holding something, or like one of he's like, it's just like his hand, like and you know the images if you've seen James Bond, any image of James Bond over the last 30 years, you know these images.
That's the thing. Like that's if you're gonna do that, then at least acknowledge, because that seems dumb, right? If you replace it with something funny, maybe you can be like, whatever, that's just us being silly. But like if you just remove it, that is the wrong takeaway from common sense gun legislation.
It's the wrong takeaway from common sense, period. I don't know if anyone from Amazon is watching or listening to this. You never know. There's movies that are not real.
Well, and like I know
they didn't happen. Those things didn't happen. And in those posters, those guns are not real either. They're props.
And look, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but James Bond is synonymous with being a spy
with pew-pews,
with shooting
a gun.
people. Like
everything.
It's okay.
His car shoots
like,
people.
His car has guns. His watch has a bullet. You know, like this man is synonymous with shooting people. That's a part of the like, and you own that. And like, look, you own it. Like it's yours now. Like you
bought
can't
that.
Divorce James Bond from
James
Bond from guns. You can't also divorce James Gunn from Bonds. It's just like they go together. Like
this
like,
episode is. I'm
not some super pro gun nut. I'm not even like that pro James Bond. But it'd be like if they put up a bunch of photos of Jason without the machete because they think it's too violent of an image. I'm like, it's the Friday the 13th. The whole idea is it's violent.
Before anyone out there, and I'm sure they've already said it, says, it's the woke. They're being the woke. Yeah. Nobody asked. There's nobody. The wokest person alive didn't want that done. There's nothing. Nobody's asking for this. No. Nobody has been talking about the James Bond posters as a problem.
Somebody has.
This was an internal conversation.
Jeff.
Somewhere there was an internal conversation
with people who don't leave the office, probably,
and they said to themselves, should we be concerned about all the gun imagery in these James Bond films lest we be accused of encouraging gun violence? That's all, and it's all internal. It's all in fear of a potential backlash.
I would have said yes, and we should sell Bond immediately.
Yes.
If we are seriously afraid of this, we should sell the property immediately. I'm not even kidding. And that's another thing for you, Amazon. If you're scared of what you own, get rid of it. That's stupid. Yeah. Like Garrett said, you bought this. You can't divorce yourself from it. It's not like you even created it. You bought it like 5 years ago. Not even that long ago. And now you're offended by what you purchased? You're stupid.
Let me offer a different take, because I actually think there's a different reasoning, and I don't necessarily think it's the woke. I do think it's all internal. I agree with that. I think that Bezos has reached the point of his toxic masculinity era where he no longer he probably enjoys guns. It made him feel good, and he really felt like he needed it. But now he looks at it and he goes, "Man, my hands are deadly weapons. I don't need a gun anymore. Only weak people use guns." And so somebody heard that and was like, "You know how I'm gonna get on Bezos' good side? I'm gonna take these guns out because Bond doesn't need a gun." I think they were just trying to play to his toxic masculinity at this point in time. So either way, it's dumb, but that's what I think happened.
I'm just gonna share this too. I googled James Bond, and I googled James Bond photos specifically. 11 images come up as the preview. 5 of them, he's holding a gun. There's no way around it. That's what the character is. For better or for worse.
It's ridiculous. And as many commenters on these stories have pointed out, every single poster still features the 007 logo, which is prominently a gun.
Yeah, it evokes gun.
It's very much a holstered, pointed down gun.
Even the iconic opening of every film is the view of James Bond down a gun barrel.
Okay, so too much Peacemaker for David this week.
The gun doesn't jam.
Gun don't jam. Gun don't jam.
The gun does James.
Gun does James. Bond does gun. Let's move on. I think we're about done with this show for the week, so let's hit up with our pretty disappointing opening weekend not opening weekend. Box office weekend is just what I meant to say. Opening weekend for a couple movies, but mostly one that Jared Leto ruined. Okay, bye.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this. I don't know if either of you guys get a chance to see this, but Tron Ares is the big open, really, of the weekend. That's sort of the one with the most hype around it. It opened at $33.5 million, according to the Sunday morning projections, and about 10% short of even the most of sort of the more conservative of estimates of about $37 million. Not very good word of mouth. It doesn't feel like some people have enjoyed it, some people don't. Comparing it to Tron Legacy, which is the most recent film in this franchise, which came out in 2010, that made about $44 million. So, I mean, I don't know. That's about as good as you could expect. I think was probably $44 million. So, not a super open. I'd have to see it for myself to pass much judgment, but not a strong open. Comparatively, Rooftop Man, starring Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst, opened about $1 million over estimates at $8 million. Decent little indie film there for people maybe interested in checking out. One Battle After Another slides to the number 3 spot with $6.6 million. Gabby's Dollhouse holds on to number 4 with $3.4. And the debuting Soul on Fire starts in the number 5 spot with $3 million. I actually don't know anything about Soul on Fire, but there you go. Movies opening wide next weekend. I'm very excited for at least one of these. Black Phone 2 opens wide. Good Fortune, that's Keanu Reeves as like an angel. He's trying to be like trying to get his wings or something like that. I've seen the trailer for this a couple times. It does look very funny. It's Keanu Reeves and I think Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen. So it looks very funny. And then Frankenstein opens. This is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, opens in limited release. I've been checking theaters around here to see which one has it, but they've not announced showtimes yet. So, let us know if you get a chance to see Frankenstein, and we don't. But there you go. There's your box office look for this week.
Like I said at the top of the show, we are talking about Friday the 13th all month long. So be sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. You can find all that stuff at SoManySequels.com. Follow us online on Instagram or Threads. Let us know what movies you're watching for Halloween. We're not just watching Friday the 13th. You'll see throughout the month. We'll talk about some other movies, but our main theme is going to be Friday the 13th. But we still want to hear about what other horror movies you're watching. What are your favorites, maybe, that are off the beaten path?
Give us some suggestions to watch.
Everybody says Halloween and Friday the 13th and Scream. What are your favorite weird ones? That's what I want to know. What's like your guilty pleasure horror movie? Let me know. Let us know in the comments. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.